Is your radio on?
10-4. 10-4.
So, where are we going now?
Alaska.
Woohoo!
Finally on the road to Alaska. Doing our first stop, major stop, pit stop, get out, stretch our legs. We're here in Morrow, Oregon on 97. It's a cool little park here, bathrooms, picnic tables, nice big green grassy area for the dogs to run. Right next to a museum if you want to go see a museum. There's a museum right there on the other side of the bridge. Cool little footbridge going over creek bed, but it looks dry right now. Pretty area though. It's nice to get out and stretch your legs. It is kind of weird when you start a big trip like this how it doesn't seem like the big trip because you've driven through these areas before. It's not till you start hitting those new areas that it really comes to life, but we're excited. Sorry, I got confused there.
I was about ready to say, hey, don't get it out left lane.
Go across the river.
That says Columbia River. That does not say welcome to Washington.
Where is the sign that says welcome to Washington?
I don't know.
Not either. Yay, welcome to Washington. And then look at the valley there with the river. Isn't that beautiful? Highway 97 north of the border in Washington. We were talking about it and don't believe that either one of us have ever been on this road. So it's all new. Entering the Yakima Nation.
I'm following the blue.
I think that's a bald eagle there in the tree, and I'm sure you probably can't see it because it's probably tiny on the screen. And I could be wrong. I'm not sure I see a white tail, so. The bridge looks very desert khaki colored.
First night, headed to Alaska. It does not feel like we're headed to Alaska, and it's way too hot to feel like Alaska. It's like 95, 96 degrees out, slight breeze. We are just outside of George, Washington, and there's a little lake here that allows overnight parking, so we're gonna park here overnight and then head out in the morning. Okay.
A pretty place to have a house.
Chief Joseph Dam Wayside was a pretty cool stop. It's really exciting to have the trip underway and headed to Alaska. Alaska will be our 49th state together as a married couple, so it should be a lot of fun. So far the traffic's been pretty good, a couple little construction areas, but for the most part nice and clear, and looking for some really good times up there.
It's so exciting. We just got through the border check. You're clear this way. And there's a sign that says, "Welcome to British Columbia."
10 kilometers to Princeton, right?
Pretty sure that's what I saw.
We are in Canada. How's that for exciting? We've decided to RV all the way up, and we've got friends coming along with us, which is great. It's just such a less stressful drive when you know you've got some help right there with you all the time. That's been really nice. Once we were up, I mean, we took 97 through Oregon and Washington up into Canada, but then we turned off. We took Highway 3 to Princeton, and we found this Martin Lake wreck site outside of Princeton. Signage wasn't the greatest to find it, but we were able to locate it. It was a great campsite, really nice and quiet, cool little lake. It was a lot of fun. Then out of Princeton, we took the 5A northbound. And again, so far all the roads have been really smooth and no issues at all.
The sign says slow. We're going slow.
I also like that there's a lot of turnoffs on the drive so far, and it's just nice to pull over. And of course, our first wildlife sighting, some bighorn sheep. They made sure we saw them by being smack dab in the middle of the road. They did not seem to mind us driving by at all. That was a cool sighting, though. So this was actually on Highway 8. And one thing I will say about Highway 8 is it looks like it had been washed out in several areas through a recent flood. And there were several sections of the highway that were gravel. Other than that, no problems on the roadway at all. This campground at Lac La Hache, hope I'm pronouncing that right, had a nice walk path out to the beach of the lake. Nice little tunnel going under 97, so you didn't have to worry about traffic. 97 is kind of busy. That is one thing that has surprised me on the trip so far, is how much traffic's been on the road. I figured going to these remote parts of Canada and Alaska, we weren't going to see anybody, and there's still a lot of traffic out there. It was a pretty lake. There's a lot of hikes, day use areas, picnic benches, barbecues, swimming hole, all kinds of neat things there at the lake. Now, on Sonja's suggestion, we decided to change up our plans a little bit. We had planned on driving all the way to Barkerville and camping in a campground near the town, but then she decided it would be a better option to stay in Quesnel, which is right at the junction of 97 and 26, and it worked out so much better. Such a great change to the plans. We found this Quesnel Municipal RV Park in downtown. We were able to walk to a farmer's market and walk downtown to the visitor center and museum from our campground. nice short walk. And there was train tracks right next to it, but on the positive side, they did not seem to run at night. So that was good. A lot of fun.
So, sweetheart, where are you?
Barkerville,
When's the last time you were here?
like in the 70s, early 70s.
But you're back,
I'm back. I've always wanted to come back.
and here you are.
So when I was a little kid, back in the 70s, my parents took us to Canada with my grandparents. We were visiting my great-grandfather who lived in Alberta. We had taken a ferry up to Prince Rupert, and then coming across, we hit Barkerville. I was fascinated as a small child with these old buildings that had original type furnishings in them, that you could see how people lived, that you could just imagine this town full of people. And most fascinating was the gold panning. I had never been exposed to that before. I didn't know anything about it. And I think it looked like so much fun and just amazing that someone could do that. It was something I really, really wanted to try, and I wasn't able to at that time. I have always wanted to come back to this town and see it, to see if it was as neat as I remembered. And I've always wanted a chance to come back here and pan for gold. So this was my chance.
So this was my first time to Barkerville. Sonja had been talking about it, wanting to go back, and I love old ghost towns, old historic towns like this. What I thought was kind of neat about this one was some of the buildings were set up like they would have been back then, with the period furniture, period books, with period pictures on the walls, that kind of thing, and others they had kind of updated, which was neat as well. I found it kind of fascinating as we were going through. Like the candy store was a candy store. They had some old-time-ish style candies, but most of it was modern day stuff. The general store had modern amenities in it, but it was still the original store. The folks behind the counter were dressed up in period garb, and I just found that bringing the town to life like that was really neat. A little bit later in the video, we went to the printing shop, and he was actively working on printing some things on one of the old presses. And with his permission, we were able to film some of it. And just seeing how they are keeping the town alive like that, to me, was really neat and enjoyable. Kudos to you, Barkerville, for keeping it alive like you did. We really, really enjoyed it. And who knows, maybe one day we'll come back.
Mark, just in case I lose my spot. So these things are called gauge pins. And what they do is they hold my paper in place, but they also allow me to do what I'm doing right now, which is line up my paper with what I want to print on, so I can have it nice and relatively centered. How's that for a test print?
Yeah, I think I saw him in the main entrance.
Having fun?
Yeah.
Having any memories of the place?
Some things look kind of familiar, but nothing that I look at and go, oh, I remember that.
I love stuff like this.
Just watch where you're walking.
It cleans off.
And in fact, could you do me a favor? Yes, there is. If you see anyone, adult or child, in and around this fence over here, let myself or Mr. Hanky know so that we can shut down the wheel and ensure everyone remains safe, yes? There we go.
Yeah, that or just brain him with a rope. There's one in the sluice box.
Mr. Hanky!
Well, I'm only... He's a very strong fellow, but I'm only saying this because anything he's going to do is going to be far more forgiving than 2,300 foot-pounds of raw mindless pork.
Wave to you. You will wave back, so I know he is made safely. Very good. Mr. Hanky, would you open the gate valve for us?
Gate valve open!
There we have it. Feel that water? The water is now falling down the bypass that first in the chute. It's being directed underneath the wheel, back out into the window. Please, we are down.
There!
Up here!
Okay, open!
The water's now coming directly onto the wheel, filling those one chairs. There you go. This time, this time, and yes, wheel is good. And there you have it. The world's famous performance water wheel in motion. Notice the circular motion of the drive wheel, leading to the up and down motion of the eccentric arm, leading to the sweep and awful motion of the walking beam, and that loop, up and down motion of a series of pistons, powering the pump 55 feet below ground. Now this time, you have to work to operate.
Yes, point.
Good one, ready? Start it up. You lift the clutch lever, bring up the full lift, 5 gears to bring up the drive wheel, and up comes the motor of 4 steering gravity trucks. Nice music. Round of applause for Mr. Hank. Very, very good at operating. Because not only is this how we bring up our buses to 4 steering gravity, it's also how we send our miners into the bicep, start the shift, and then we're getting up. Well, now.
You bet why a crackpot operator like me, I can drop a miner straight down to bedrock neat as a pin. How about you, kiddo? How about you? You want to go for a ride? Come on. Why's not so good just because it's flood? All right, you stay there with me.
Might be a little small, but that'd be about 1 ounce of gold. 1 ounce of gold today is about $3,336.99 an ounce.
Wow.
And if that were a nugget, that wouldn't be worth $3,000. That'd be worth $7,000.
Why?
Because nuggets are very rare. Gold, pretty rare on its own. A whole big old chunk of it that just came out of that stream, that's extra rare. And way back in the day, they just melted them all down, which is why they're so rare these days. What else do you know about gold?
It's heavy.
It's heavy. There we go. That's important. That's exactly how this process works. When you shake that full of water, what's going to happen to that gold?
Go to the bottom.
Go right to the bottom. Yeah. And then, because those pieces of gold are 40 times heavier, 10 times heavier than everything else, the water has to push 10 times as hard to move that gold out of there. All right. What's next? What else do you know about gold? Soft. There we go. Man, you guys know it all about gold. So if we took that piece of gold, get that nugget of gold, and we smack that with a big hammer, since that's so soft, what's going to happen to it?
Flatten it.
Flatten it out. There we go. So we can flatten that out on an amazingly thin sheet of gold. So if we have that and we flatten it out as thin as we can, thinner than that gold leaf we've got inside there, how big a piece do you think we can get? How big? What do you think around here we can cover with 1 ounce of gold?
I have no idea.
How about 6 feet?
6 feet? Bigger than that.
Really?
Way bigger than that. I don't actually know. I haven't done the math myself. But what they tell me,
Rhetorical question.
what they tell me is they can do both sides of that big red roof with 1 ounce of gold
Whoa.
and still have a little left over. So, if we can do that, if we can cover both sides of that big red roof, how many kilometers of wire can we get out of 1 ounce gold? Usable wire. Not as thin as it'll go this time.
Okay, Joe, you're the metric person. I have no idea.
How many kilometers? Well, you can do it in miles. I know it in miles too.
52.
50 kilometers of wire, or 35 miles.
Wow.
All the way from here to Cottonwood House.
That's
with
crazy.
1 ounce of gold. Grab onto that real strong and get half a pan of water. So dip that down, grab half a pan of water. All right, and we're going to shake that side to side. Yeah, a little harder. I'm gonna go get a coffee. I'll be back in 20 minutes. I promise. Nah, it's fine. Put those down. Alright, where's our gold?
On the bottom.
On the bottom.
Should be.
Alright. Should be on the bottom. It definitely go. Well, that's a nice one. Alright. That's a nice one. Well, that pink color.
Pretty.
Just be real careful with these two. They might take your rock.
You want to get
That's
oil
okay.
on gold.
So, what we're going to do next is we're going to use 2 fingers. We're going to pick off the big stuff off the surface and put that into that trough. We call that leverite. Any guesses why we call that leverite?
Because we'll leave it right
We'll leave it
there.
right there. She ain't worth nothing.
How?
We're going to shake them. This time we're going to shake them a little gently, and you're going to tip the front towards me. Oh, you don't want to swirl it, because you send the gold every old place when you swirl it. So just side to side, and you're going to tip the gravel right up to the edge. Bring it in with you. Just bring it right up to the edge. Alright, so once you're done that, once you got all the way to the edge, the gold is somewhere in this corner, most likely.
Okay.
If we put that corner at the lowest point, then the gold will collect there.
Okay.
Alright? So, next what we're going to do is we're going to start washing. I'm going to go through this with each one of you. We're going to tip it forward. You're going to have just a little puddle of water. That's your angle. You're not going to tip up. You're not going to tip down. You're going to bring it down and forward and up. Okay? This is where I need your elbows off the table. Okay? So, do that 3 times. Shake that back into that corner. We're not going to bring it all the way to the front. We're going to put the mass on that corner now. Okay? Alright, so tip it forward. Keep doing that till you're bored of it, and then 10 more times. Alright, so we're going to keep together. 1, 2, 3. Take that back. Keep going. might as well just finish this the hard way. Cut a wave on that one.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
So I did it the hard way?
You did it the hard way.
Okay, how's the not hard way?
Well, the not hard way. There we go. You can just, at this point, you can just dip. One almost ran away. Get that guy back in there. Get some water on it. Oh, come on. There we go. Back up. So just very gently, or you can swirl that stuff away. Alright, do you want to try? So here, let me show you how backhanding works. We just leave that up there. We just use that swirl that way. So now all that stuff back there, you can go see through. You can go, yeah, I don't see any gold. And you can wash that out. And you can go. There's your gold. Alright, so you want to try backhanding. Sure,
You're
all
all
right.
up on top.
So, you bring that all up top.
Uh-huh.
Bring that down. You just swirl. I like a nice little figure 8. We can pick that guy out of the way. Make sure that doesn't have any gold on it. That guy out of the way. Yeah. Sometimes some of it just wants to run away, but we know this stuff up here is fine. It's going to stay right there.
Okay.
So now what we do, we put that stuff down and we want to bury it. Because we want to get rid of the rest of that material first. So we're going to take that, grab up a little higher. Just down and pause. Down and pause. And shake that back. And down and pause. Oh, that's that shiny bit?
I got a little bit.
Shiny bit right there? That actually is a piece of iron pyrite.
Oh, I found food there too.
Right there. I'm just gonna grab that. Oh, yeah, you can take that fool's gold too. Boy, little that gold wants to move.
Yeah.
It's so much heavier than everything else. Right. Pull that together again.
That's Sonja's gold. And there's my gold. That is really cool. You have fun panning?
Yes, that was.